Welcome, welcome, welcome to episode 5 of Kicking It with V. I cannot believe that this season has wrapped up so fast. This is the last episode for this season, and I say, save the best for last. I am here with the wonderful Jasmine Parker Smith. Hi, Jasmine.
Hi,
How are you?
good. How you doing?
I am good. I know Jasmine, everybody, and I love Jasmine, but Jasmine, I want you to introduce yourself to the people. Let them know everything you want them to know about you.
Well, hello, everybody. I first and foremost want to say thank you, Venus, for allowing me to be here tonight. It is truly an honor as well to be here, and to know you and to have known you as well has been a blessing. So I'm trying to condense it a little bit about me.
Give us all of it. Give us everything. Don't condense it at all.
One thing that I like to how I introduce myself now is to remind myself that I am a strong woman. And so I say that tonight, as an encouragement to myself, I'm a strong woman. I am a mother, I am a wife, I am a daughter, I am a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a pastor, I'm a entrepreneur in the making, officially.
Claim it. You are
um,
already an entrepreneur. Period.
Yes, period. I am a therapist, counselor, mental health counselor. I am a lot of things, but most importantly, I have learned that I am a strong Black woman. So I'm grateful to be here. I'm excited. I'm excited for tonight.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. So, let's first unpack some of the things that you said you are. Like, we forget that we're strong women. You know, I think we're so
Yes,
busy with life that we don't allow ourselves that credit that we're strong. We don't give ourselves
yes,
the credit as women to say that. So I like, that was good that you started off saying that because you are definitely strong. And you have to be strong because we go through so much as women, but we're also helping people. So we don't have time
yes,
to come to the
yes.
table with what we got going on. We gotta
Right.
beat your face and keep it moving. Um, so yeah, I like that
Yeah.
you said that.
Yeah,
So
I think it's one of those things for so long where, somebody say introduce yourself, and for some time I was like, I'm the wife of so and so, or when we go to the school and they be like, you're the parent of, I think at some point we don't really get to introduce who we are because we have so many different titles, so many different hats that we have to wear. So with this whole journey of discovering self and going through just a place where I'm in the capacity of loving Jasmine for who she is. I decided that when I introduce myself, I'm introducing myself. This is me, along with all the things that I do. Those things are not me. Those things are things that I do. I just do a lot of things.
I love
But me, I am. I've learned that I'm a strong Black woman, even if I don't want to be.
even if you don't want to be, you ain't got no choice. And that's who you are. It's not what you do.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. So everybody knows Kicking It with V is something that I started because I wanted to highlight women in business. I wanted to just sit down and give women their flowers. And season 5 was so important to me because everybody in season 5 has personally touched my life. So I wrapped this up with you because Jasmine is my therapist. And I won't go into details of how crazy you have seen me throughout these. I feel like it's been almost like a year that I've been in therapy.
Yes.
But you have helped me through some really tough places in my life. And I wanted to be vulnerable and I wanted to be transparent um with women to let them know that it's okay to go to therapy because like you said, we do all of these things. Um
Yes.
And we don't have time to just unpack the things that we're going through outside of social media or outside of our businesses or work.
Right. 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 And it's important. that we understand that, and it's this whole this whole statistic and the whole thoughts of going to therapy because I have a problem. It's not even necessarily that I have a problem. It's just I'm trying to prevent problems from happening because I have so many things that I am doing. And so it's important to make sure that we allow ourselves to be able to process the things that we go through. And that's what therapy does. Therapy doesn't mean that you're crazy. I like to say, if you don't go to therapy, then you might be. That's just my philosophy,
That is
because
the truth in there.
I'm going to therapy to prevent myself from getting to a place that I could possibly get to.
Right. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's super important. And sometimes going to therapy just opens up things that you don't know that need to be open. Like I
exactly.
remember one time, I'm not going to go too deep in one of our sessions, and I was telling you something, and you was like, "Well, how do you know?" And I'm like, "Cause I just know." And you was like,
Right,
"No, but did you ever ask?" And I'm like, "No." And you was like, "Well,
right,
how do you know you don't have help if you're not asking for help?" And I'm like, "Cause I just know." But it made me self-reflect to say, why do I keep saying this if I really don't know? So it does unpack some things that's really helpful in your life. So people go to therapy. This is also the spotlight Jasmine and how amazing she is, but I wanted to be very transparent and just tell people that it's okay to go to therapy. It's okay to encourage your friends to go to therapy. Like, go to therapy with your friends, go to therapy with your husband, go to therapy with your family, go to therapy alone, like all of the above. Like,
take everybody with you.
take everybody with you, okay? Listen, it's a party.
Yes,
So, Jasmine, so at first we had that there. I mean, and we're not friends, so I don't want to be like, oh, this is my friend. Because Jasmine might be like, girl, I am your therapist. I am not your friend. But we are friends on social media. And girl,
right.
we've been friends for a while on social media, but I seen that you was a pastor. And I'm like, girl, Jasmine ain't said one thing to me about being no pastor. She never even told me that. And so I seen that you had a service with Crystal Brooks. And I was like, Jasmine is a pastor. She out here.
Oh, my lightning is ridiculously. The sun is setting.
It's okay. I can get my I can get my assistant to edit this part out. Rona, edit this part out.
So can I go talk? So can I move? This is ridiculous.
Hmm?
You want me to close them?
Yeah, because the lines are on your face.
Yes. Okay, cool.
I gotta turn my light out to preserve my light because my light is about to die.
I don't know if it's better for me to open it or to close it.
Well, when you opened it, you looked really
Right.
bright, right.
So what? Let me see. I'm twisting it the other way. I might have to. Let me see if I can
Or
move.
maybe you can turn the are you on a laptop or a computer?
I'm on my desktop. That's what I was saying. Maybe I could
Uh
just move my.
your monitor.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I was trying to change it.
Oh yeah, you look fine now.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
What's the, that's why you can't have kids trying to do 10,000 things.
Listen.
I got one in front of me that's asking me to open my card is unlocked, Javier. Open my card, like literally while I'm in the middle of talking, he's standing there asking me questions.
They be in the background like
Okay, that's better because that was bothering me.
all right, you ready? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So yeah, I seen that you wait. Why did I jump right back in like that? Are you frozen? Oh, okay.
No,
Okay, I'm sorry.
because
Okay,
you were sharing that you saw me on Facebook that I was
right.
over.
So
Okay.
I seen that you had a service with Crystal Brooks, and I'm like, oh my God, look at them. They having this whole service. So how is that being a pastor? How is that?
Um, it's rewarding in a sense that I I can look at myself in a place of where I used to be to where I am now, right? So my elevation, which to me happened very quickly, even though it happened in years. For me, dedicating my life to Christ, me, really saying that I'm gonna live this Christian lifestyle, for me joining with my husband to start a church, to me becoming the assistant pastor, well, first lady, then the assistant pastor, then finally becoming the senior pastor. It just has been very mind blowing. A lot of responsibility, a lot of doubt, especially when you don't have as many uh supporters in the community that is, just to be honest. It can be very challenging. But one thing that I've learned is that you have to have a relationship with Christ when you're in that field of trying to become who God has called you to be. And it wasn't easy. Last year, I went through a lot and a lot of self development, which I feel like because of my elevation, that was because I said yes. It's always that test and trial that's gonna come and test that yes. And so I felt like I got that last year. And so yeah, it feels good. It's rewarding. It feels good to say that I've been I am being who God has called me to be. I now look back and see, what He has done and the transformation He has done in my life, and it just, it feels good to know that you're obeying God as much as you can. For me. So
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That kind of, I mean, not saying that you didn't have cool points with me before, but that just kind of took it like my therapist is a pastor. Okay, she probably praying for me. Like, yes. Um, so yeah, so that was like super dope. And
yeah,
you're right. Every level that you go through in life, the devil is definitely like, let me break her down. And he
yes,
knows exactly what to do and how
yes, yes,
to do it. Like it's no ifs, ands, or buts. He like, I'm gonna hit her right here in the left, right in her gut. This is where it hurts her right
yeah,
here. So,
yeah,
um, and so let's get into these questions. Oh, before we get into the questions, let's talk about your craft business because you are an entrepreneur as well. And I believe that being a therapist and also being a pastor, you're a brand. Like
yeah,
your whole like everything about you is your brand. And that's how I was when I was trying to figure out, well, am I a hairstylist? Am I a business
right,
coach? Am I on city council? Like my life
yeah,
is my credentials. Like I am the brand. So I want to let you know that your life is your credentials. Everything that you're doing from therapy to the crafts, your life gave you those credentials. You don't need no schooling. Okay, of course you went to school for therapy, but the things that you've been through, your life is
yeah,
going to take you to your next level. So tell us
definitely.
about your therapy business. I mean, your crafting business.
So I started crafting back in 2000, probably about 5, 6 years ago. And it was something that I was kind of bored. And so I was just like, okay, I prayed to God. I literally just put my hands out and was like, okay, God, let's do something. I'm bored. I didn't really see a lot of people crafting at that point. I just was optimistic and was like, let's do something. And from there, I did my friend's baby shower, like just the diaper cake, just little stuff like that, little decorations. And I don't know, it just went off from there. I started making wreaths. And that's where I really started. Door wreaths was my thing.
Wow.
I fell in love with that, and I started. People was like, "Oh, I want to buy one." So I was like, "What? You want to buy one?" And he was interested, and it kept coming, and it kept growing. I kept posting, and it kept growing, and so I've done a little bit of everything: blinging cell phone cases, making T-shirts, doing stuff for my daughter. It's a lot of stuff. Making earrings. I should have worn some. Making
Wow.
button earrings. Yeah, it's a lot of different things. Cups. Anything I pretty much put my hands on. It's kind of like what I found that. allow me to kind of express myself. So it's called Perfect Expressions. Um, I'm hoping that I can keep that name. I just did my business license. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited about it because it's something that I'm really good at, but because I was sacrificing my time with school, because I was sacrificing my time with ministry, with my family, it was just something that I couldn't do for the past like 2 years or so. So this will be me getting my business license for me was like motivation that, this is something that you have outside of everything else that you've done. This is something that, you created on your own just for you and for So it's like my baby, it's like my free time. It becomes my free time until I get too many offers. And I'd be like, you know what? Nope, I'm not doing this no more. Because this was supposed to be fun.
Right,
And now I
right,
got a dead
right.
and you're procrastinating like I am. I wait till the last minute and I got 10 orders when I could have spread everything out. So I'm trying to do things differently, trying to get organized. That's why I just started. Let me start with my business license. Once I get it, then I'll just build from there to get myself ready for what's to come.
I love that. I love that. So, what are some things you wish you knew as about entrepreneurship before you started your business or just being out, dealing with people in the public?
You took what I was about to say, really dealing with people in the public. It's something that I wish I kind of, people are very demanding. And if and honestly, when I think about it, if I'm a pay for something, then I guess I would kind of be a little demanding too. I don't know. But people are very demanding and doing things like having a deposit before you make something.
Mhm.
Like that was something that I never did until I would make something and nobody would come pick it up or I never got my money back, or I basically I spent $50 out for an item that's sitting that I didn't want. So things like that, making sure that I'm able to communicate with the people and be efficient in what it is that they're trying to get is something that I wish from the beginning, I wish I would have started off with a deposit. I also wish too that my price list was on intact prior to me just taking orders. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
So, like your back office.
yeah, exactly. I don't feel like I had because I just was doing it for fun as a hobby. I didn't have any of that in place, but I started taking orders. And so what I was doing was, well, I'll charge you $30 and I'll charge you $35 because I really need $5 extra this week. Or I'll charge you 40, then everybody saying, you can charge more than that. But then I'm charging 60 over here. It just was everywhere.
Right.
So having a price list is something else that I wish that I would have sat down and done prior. Like I said, also know how to communicate with people who can be, demanding on the front.
Right, right. And so you kind of answered the next question. What was the biggest mistake you made as an entrepreneur? So we're gonna go we're gonna skip past that. But I want to ask, how do you balance life with your family, like your business and your family?
It's actually because my kids have gotten a little bit older, it's becoming a little easier now. I do have a 2-year-old, but because she has older brothers, it's a little bit easier. Um, I found that I have to be disciplined in my time. So what I mean by that is I literally have to have my phone. 7 o'clock I'm doing this, 8 o'clock I'm doing this, 9 o'clock I'm doing this, 10 o'clock. I have to go by a schedule
Right.
or else
Or
it's gonna be it's not gonna get done. And then what happens there is the priority of things, which is everything else besides myself, right? Because that's what we do. We prioritize everything else.
everything.
Prioritize ourselves. So then I put everything else first, and then I'm left neglected. So either I'm left neglected or my business, like my crafting is left neglected, things that I really love to do left neglected because I did not discipline my time when I came on it, and I'm a procrastinator. And so I'm everything else to make sure everything and everybody else is situated. And then I'm neglected. So one thing that I've learned that I have to do is I have to have a schedule. I cannot function without a schedule. I just, and I used to tell myself, Girl, you in your 30s, like you by this time you should have that together. Like you should not be like you're not a kid anymore. But I had to realize that I literally just got out my 20s. And yeah, I am a 30-year-old, but 30 is still young and I'm still learning and I'm still growing. And I don't know why we think that when we hit 30 that we just magically know everything and
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
You know, you still need discipline in certain areas of your life, depending on where and who you are, how you were brought up. You know, it really doesn't matter about the age 30, 40, 50. There's so many other factors that matters onto why we have the behaviors and the way we think about stuff and what we actually do. So one thing that I've learned about myself is I have to be disciplined. I can't, even when I was in college, when I had my dorm room, I couldn't just be out there. I was out there. I needed to be disciplined, but I was out there. I had too much freedom. Same thing for me as an adult. I got too much freedom, nothing gonna get done.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's just now it's just in a different form. So you have to find out who you are. For me, I know if I don't have a schedule, I'm gonna be chaotic. So I stick to my schedule.
And it's good that you know that and you know to
Yeah,
stick to it. So I mean, knowing is half the balance, the
yeah,
battle.
yeah.
So what do you do for self-care?
So for me, for self-care, it could be very hard because I do have a lot of things that I do. But when it comes to self-care, I had to figure out what self-care meant for me. And it's different for women in general, it's
Mhm,
different for Black women in general, you know. So
mhm,
um self-care for me is part of it. I'm not talking about activity wise, but part of it is my self growth, right? So for me, my self care is making sure that I spend time with me in an emotional state. Meaning that, for an example, it's this lake that I go to and I sit out in my car and I sometimes I write, sometimes I pray, sometimes I just sit there, you know. But I spend time with myself. When I'm talking about activity wise, like the probably like a month ago so ago, I went to the movies by myself. I
yeah.
made myself go by myself so I can focus on myself. You know, even if I was watching a movie, I'm still in my own presence and making sure that I'm comfortable in my own presence and I'm comfortable in my own skin is self care for me. Um, I have realized that I have been codependent at a certain point in my life, probably for a lot of years of my life, and realizing that, trying to break those habits and those barriers. Um, and just trying to trust myself and be by myself, be with myself, and that's part of my self care. It's part of my self growth, but also spending time with my kids, my family is my self care. Also, sitting on my couch in my living room, Netflixing and chilling is my self care. When I sit down and watch, I love psych shows and stuff like that. So anything that's dealing with the mind and crazy, that's me. I'm always trying to figure it out.
Figure out why they doing it.
I love all that. So watching things like You, the show You, and the suspect killer shows, all of those type of things, Criminal Minds, all that is for you
Ah,
guys.
child.
So yeah, so that's what I do for myself. Self care along with my self care. Self care with my inner growth and self care with those different activities. Is how I just spend time with me.
I love that. I love that. So the next question is any advice, and I want to switch it up. So it's any advice you would give to someone getting into this industry. So I want you to answer any advice that you would give to someone who had a business for a long time but procrastinated with structuring it like you did. What advice would you give them?
I will say that it comes a point in our or your life where you should do what's best for you. And even though I have a spouse, even though I have children, I think part of me in that procrastination and waiting for that business license was that I have other priorities that's a primary to me starting a business, you know. So my advice would be whatever your excuse is, because it's always an excuse, whether it's a good one or a bad one, it's always an excuse. My advice will be to try to understand what that excuse is of holding you back from pursuing. what's best for you. And when I say what's best for you, if it's something that you want to do, that's what's best for you. If it's something that's on your heart, something you desire, that's what's best for you. So I would say whatever it is that's hindering you to pursue, figure that out. Question yourself about why. What is it that's holding you back? Why you're not doing it? And though part of it for me was procrastination, another part of it was I felt a little bit guilty that I will try to pursue something else on my task list when I got so many things already that I need to have my full attention. And so, but one thing that I've learned is what balance for me, if I'm balancing everything properly, that I can conquer all. I don't believe that I will fail. I don't believe it was one point I did, but right now, I don't believe that I will fail. I do believe that, God has my best interest at heart and he's there with me to depend on. And so I kind of have faith in myself. I've been able to spending that time with myself, trust myself and trust that, I'm not gonna let procrastination hinder me no more. I'm not gonna let fear or anxiety or, comparing myself to others hinder me. Whatever it is that we do, whatever our excuses, whatever is holding us back from pursuing, we need to figure that out. And then once you figure that out, we need to process it and deal with it. And then I feel like you will get the strength to do what's best for you.
Love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. So we are going to wrap it up, but I want before we go for you to tell the people how they can connect with you, whether you want them to follow you on Facebook or how they can book a therapy session if they're interested in that, or where they can come visit you at church, where can they order their earrings, anything you want them to know. Um, let them know, and then I'll make sure when the episode goes, when it posts, that I'll have all of your information in the caption.
Okay. So I do have, if you want to book, I got my cell number and that I have to literally write everything down, like I told y'all. If you do want to book a therapy session or you just want to inquire about therapy sessions, my work number is 912-373-6424. And I could talk to you about therapy sessions, anything like that. As far as everything else, social media is my biggest traffic flow, my messenger. So DM me. My Facebook is Jasmine Chantel, Chantel. And I really don't do Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff like that. I'm trying to decide if I want to, because like you said, with the whole branding thing, I'm trying to decide if I want to branch out in other ways. But definitely Facebook is my primary source. So Jasmine Chantel, if you guys do want to contact me.
And I make sure that we have all of that information at the caption. Thank you so much for being on here. Once again, Kicking It with V is about me giving women their flowers and allowing them to showcase what they have. Season 1 was so important to me because everybody on season 1 touched my life in some type of way. So I am just so grateful for you for coming into my life. Okay, before we go, let me tell a short story really quick. So Jazz, when I got introduced to you to do therapy, I was like our first call, I'm like, this young girl is not gonna be able to handle me. And I think you had told me that you were married. So I was like, okay. But I remember having that thought, but it was probably just fear,
Yeah.
kind of stepping away. But baby, you handle it all so gracefully, okay? Because you already know. But so don't listen, guys. If you're thinking about therapy, this is your sign. If you wasn't thinking about it, start thinking about it.
Yes.
It's important as women, Black women too, that we're going to therapy. We cannot handle all of the things that are going on our head alone. We should not have somebody that you can talk to, somebody that can be a soundboard that can help you bounce ideas. And just make your day and your life a little bit more easier. So, Jasmine, I thank you for being that person in my life. And listen, my therapy session is scheduled for next week. Okay, I'm not playing about these sessions. Okay.
It's so funny though, because when we did first connect, I was like, I wouldn't say intimidated, but I was already fearful going into this because that was like my first, rodeo with session. But I was like, this is gonna be a hard one. Yeah, this is gonna be a hard one, but it was not. It was not hard at all. It was it was like cracking the egg. And once it was cracked, it was like
Listen,
we in
a ball of
we in.
tears. No, but I love you. Just
Yeah,
the part you
it's
play.
Yeah, yeah. It's important to have that person, and it's so funny because when I took my counselor exam, one of the questions was, why do people come to therapy? But people come to therapy to be heard, not because anything else. It's because they just need somebody to share whatever they're dealing with. Not even because they need help, not even because it is because they want somebody to listen to them. So I'm telling you guys, if you're not in therapy, get in therapy. It's not because you're crazy. It's not because of what the generation before has told. It's none of that. It is literally you having communication with somebody else who can't be biased with your situation. You know, can't it's not a person that you know, somebody that's a complete stranger to give you, like she said, ideas, to give you, help you. I always tell all my clients, I'm in the passenger seat. You are the driver. So I'm not even gonna steer you wrong because I ain't even steering. But if you miss a turn when we were supposed to turn right, I got you when we get to the next corner.
Love
So
it.
that's all that is. So yes, go get therapy. Therapy is where it's at. Therapy is where it's at.
For real. Listen, Charlamagne, if y'all don't know, listen to Charlamagne.
Yes.
He is the therapy. Like, I'm thinking he getting a check from his therapist, how much he talk about how much he in therapy.
You know, one of my male clients told me he only came to therapy because of Charlamagne. Like I had one of those clients, one of those male clients when I did my internship.
It's
So
definitely
yes,
important for men.
yes,
It's definitely important for men. So men, if y'all watching this too, go to therapy.
yes.
Go to
Go to
therapy.
therapy.
Jasmine, thanks again. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, you guys. Thank you.
Okay, hold on. Wow.
What?
Jasmine.
Don't tell me it wasn't recording.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I thought it wasn't. I was about to say, girl, come on.